welcome to the podcast. Friday, July 7th. You guys, should we just sleep during the podcast?
No.
Man, it doesn't even feel like Friday.
I got enough
I don't know
energy
what
for
day
both
it
of
is.
us. I want my
Good.
second cup of coffee.
I can't have caffeine, man.
Why?
Health reasons.
Is that a thing? Heart?
She has anxiety.
Heart and anxiety. I stopped caffeine and it's like I'm a whole new person, so I don't drink caffeine.
Do you like Bethany without caffeine, or do you?
I mean, yeah, except for days like today where I'm dragging ass.
What kind of person are you without caffeine? Are you a better one?
I don't have panic attacks like I used
That
to.
question always reminds people. It reminds me of has anyone ever asked you, are you a better drunk than a sober person?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a
in
better
so
drunk.
many words.
I promise I am. I'm a more functioning sober person.
I'm way more fun and way more social.
Exactly, but I feel like I'm a better drunk. Like, if you want to be friends with drunk Floyd over, 9 to 5 Floyd.
Yeah.
She's a whole different person.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a whole different
Candace.
person.
Candace, absolutely.
And I know when Candace is out because I get text messages saying that Candace is arising.
Sober Bethany is cynical and pessimistic and not fun to be around.
It's so
Yes,
weird.
you are.
I think you're fun to be around.
Okay.
I-
Cool.
Just who I am. I tolerate Bethany more than Candace. Candace is annoying.
Yeah, you just shut down when I have a drink.
Here's Candace.
He just I can have a sip of something and he just assumes he's not going to like me for the next 4 hours.
No.
I've seen Candace, and before Candace even speaks, Candace sits in the corner and just sits with a smile on her face.
Yeah.
Before she's like, hello, bitches, I have arrived. It's me, your
Wait.
candy girl.
I know Candace lets us know that she has awakened because some of the group texts get fired up and there's just a picture of a drink.
Like once a year.
No.
Yeah.
Once a month.
No.
You're
not
allowed
even
to.
close.
You're allowed to.
I wish it was once a month.
What's your
month.
drunk alter ego? Do you have one?
No.
We should come up with one. I don't have a name for mine, but I know it's a lot different than Floyd.
It's Eric. It's still Eric with a different spelling.
Eric with the difference. Eric with the Y. Because
There you go.
you're from the new generation of people where Y is actually a vowel now.
So when I have work things to do and I have to extrovert, I think that comes out when I drink. Like, I don't have to force it out like anybody. It's like not liquid courage, just loosens me up.
Okay.
So
Yeah. I get it.
All right.
I want to throw my Taylor Swift conspiracy theory out because we talked about this 4 years ago.
We did. I saw the tag and I was trying to remember, but I just liked it.
There's a conspiracy. Do tell.
It's really good. It's really good.
So I remember we were sitting in this spot 4 years ago. Actually, Floyd was in that chair.
Yeah.
And we see the story that Scooter Braun bought all of Taylor Swift's masters.
And I went on a tangent about how he's a horrible human, not even knowing who he was. I didn't even know what he looked like.
Sure.
I was just like, well, that's stupid. That's her stuff. That's her work. That's her baby. I didn't know how the industry worked. I was just like, you can't just steal someone's stuff, which is funny because of what we talked about earlier. I'm in an intellectual properties class. Scooter Braun was totally in the right. He could have done that.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure she signed her life away at some point.
He's he didn't do anything wrong.
No,
he
did not.
made an investment. And I thought even then, I was like, well, this is not bad. It's still like she still created these. She can recreate them, and she absolutely will recreate them. And
sure.
as I think we're now on the third re-release. It's at least the third re-release.
I thought it was 4 because this is all stipulations of a contract she signed when she was 12 or 13. Right? Because from
with
her...
the master. Well, how many of her albums she's done? She's redoing.
No,
them.
what I'm saying, with the Scooter Braun thing.
Okay.
It was all in her contract that they were up for grabs. So it's something she signed when she was a teenager.
He bought it like it was a stock.
Yeah, which he had every right to. But at the time, before me knowing anything, I was like, that's horrible. How could you do this to a person? But then I'm like, well, if I had the money, and she's hot right now. She's still hot right now.
That's why there's a lot of artists that are just independent. And they're not even with labels.
He is a good person. And if anybody read any of his responses after the fact about why he did that, some people might dislike him less. He is not some evil, sinister businessman. He's a good businessman.
Isn't that the same guy that did that to Kesha?
No, that's Dr. Luke.
Dr.
Oh,
Luke.
that's right. That's right. You're right.
That was a level of abuse.
But even then, like I feel like this is this generation's when Michael Jackson bought the Beatle catalog.
Yeah.
People are just like, oh no,
can't do
what is
that.
he thinking? That's history. But like, that's a business. Like the music industry is a business. So I think when the Scooter Braun thing happened, and once I took my anger out from the man, I was just like, oh, this is just like when Michael Jackson bought a catalog or any other person. So, but she's doing the right thing now because it's in her favor.
Well, here's my conspiracy theory, and I even had this back then because as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, it's not like she forgot the songs. She's still allowed to sing them. It was inevitable she was going to redo them. I think Kelly Clarkson actually started doing this before Taylor did. It just wasn't this high profile.
Yeah.
First of all, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
He really is. He created mega pop stars, Justin Bieber, and I think Ariana Grande.
Demi Lovato at the time. Like,
bunch of others.
He literally took, like once Disney kicked them out, he was like, come here, children.
All right.
Come here.
Come to me.
So I thought this at the time, but now you see the popularity of these things and how eager people are for these albums for arguably the biggest artist on the planet. Whether they did it together or she called him up, because we have known her to do secretive things before, like the Kanye and Kim phone call.
Yep.
And I don't blame her either because she is a business, and the Taylor Swift brand is as recognizable as McDonald's and Amazon and Nike. My belief is that they probably work together. He, as a business person, is going to go, yeah, I'll play the villain here, and you get to re-release all this music and make all this, or we get to make all this money. I would totally believe that she hatched the whole plan because it's smart.
And once it started, no one talked about him anymore. Like, it was just like anytime he was like, oh, she's, what do they call it, the Taylor versions?
Yeah.
The Red, the Taylor version. But like, I get it. I mean, and she's likable. As much as like I sit there, like I pout when I hear like Taylor Swift or anything she's doing, I'm just like, you know what? You respect your fans, and that's awesome.
Who won it?
I'm a secret Taylor Swift fan. I can't even lie. I'm not even sit here and act like, why don't you? What don't you like about her? I ask everyone this every time they say they don't like Taylor Swift.
I don't have anything against her. She's just not for me. Like, the music is not for me. She's not for me. She's not like. I'm not her fan.
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
My thing with her is that I see the business acumen in her, and sometimes it rubs me the wrong way. I will never forget the Kim and Kanye phone call where they were up to these hijinks and whatever, and even going back to, she was made, and I believe she was part of the creation. I don't have any thoughts about the Kanye thing and the Beyonce thing, but she is a carefully constructed pop star. And at some point, she took complete ownership of the Taylor Swift business. And I was disappointed with her that she let the Ticketmaster fiasco happen, and she was outraged like everybody else. And then I believe her first response was something along the lines of, well, they said this wasn't going to happen. They said they could handle this. Really? You're Taylor Swift. If you tell Ticketmaster to change the name of the business, they do it. Like, you have more power than almost any human on the planet.
I don't know about that.
See, I'm with her where like, I don't know. Maybe I didn't follow it that much. Like when she released that she was going to do an Eras tour, like in a huge stadium concert, I was like, "Oh, okay, cool, whatever." And I didn't really think about it. Then I heard about the Ticketmaster thing. Like, did she know that was going to happen? Like, she?
She said that when her people asked whether the servers and whatnot was going to be able to handle the business, she said they were assured that everything would be fine. Well, clearly it wasn't. And again, I put some blame on her, and we'll never know all the way, because she is so good at playing the victim and the princess. It's good for business.
Yeah, she does do that.
Yeah.
That would probably be where my heartache comes with Taylor Swift. It is like, she is more woe is me.
Yes.
Than any other pop star out there.
It's so calculated. And
yes.
The thing for me is, like, I've never been one of those people that's like super fan about anything or anyone. Like,
Spencer, what's his face?
Sure. But like, I don't like, even with like the boy bands and like growing up, like I was never like
part
obsessed
of a fandom.
Like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like, it's just off-putting to me that people are that psychotic about another she's she's just another person. I don't.
Fans are lunatics.
It's crazy,
I am a
and
lunatic
that's
for
kind
certain
of
people,
off-putting because people go so
ham.
It's like their entire essence, their entire personality is Taylor Swift or whatever else
sure.
they're like, and I'm like, you do you, but like, no thanks. I'm not
a loyal TikToker like you. I'm not a loyalist, but like I did go down like Taylor Swift era fan TikTok.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
People have spent more money on outfits for a Taylor Swift concert,
making them,
sitting in the nosebleeds where damn well, we've all been to concerts where they're like, I see you up there. I'm like, no, you don't, Beyonce. You don't see me up here. You see those people who spent like $2,000, but like people sitting in nosebleeds dropping $1,500 for an outfit, and then I get what you mean by the fans because
it's just
I'm a fanatic
to me
for certain people, but like we all know that my queens are coming up. Hopefully, we'll see. But like, I'm not like, what I'm gonna wear, what I got to do.
Right.
Like,
I don't put that much effort in.
If it happens, it happens. Woo, woo, woo. Maybe it's because I'm older now, but I do understand what you mean when you're like, you never went through that Backstreet Boys or NSYNC phase.
Right.
I don't really care. They both make
like
good
I
music.
listened to the music 24/7 and was obsessed, but I didn't fangirl or obsess over the people. Like my obsession and my love is like for the music that people put out, like not necessarily them.
So do you think, and this is going to be one of those conversations, do you think that social media makes these celebrities much more tangible or touchable?
Probably, and I think people then feel like they're entitled or they have this friendship with somebody that they don't.
Like gifting Pink your mother's ashes at a concert.
Which is really unfortunate because I think that's not... Like, we talk about mental health. Like, that's not mentally healthy to think that you have a close relationship with this person that has no idea who you are.
Yeah, have you seen that video?
Okay.
Yeah. Jade brought it up yesterday because we were talking about
well, I don't want to
point,
repeat it, but like it's
like
the reaction of Pink, you're just like, that's a real human reaction. She goes, I don't think this is right.
It's not okay.
While still trying to be Pink. You know what I mean?
Right. And at some point, this civilian, we'll call them, this fanatic is going to have a realization that relationship that they thought they had is not there. They're going to spiral. Like, it's
So
it's
now you're without Pink and your mother.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the people that like Taylor Swift, like, fine. And I'm sure, like, my artists that are my favorite artists, who wouldn't want them to put out another album of the same music that you love? Like, as, artists will do, like, acoustic, versions of their songs or remastered versions. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm here for it. But,
I also think people forget that music is art. Art is subject to opinion. And just, if you like a Picasso, that's not my thing. I like a Monet. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, you got to look at it that way as well too.
So many kinds of fandom, and you know this from some of the nerd things that we do. All kinds of fandom have, because of the internet and a lot of things, have gotten completely out of control. As you guys were talking, I was thinking, there's obviously like sports talk radio, and I listen for hosts. Whenever if I'm listening to something, I hear a call, I click out because I don't want to hear Al from South Toledo, who's whatever.
Hey Al.
I was just thinking, I don't think anything like this has happened, but with how big she is and what you guys were discussing, you could totally have Taylor Swift talk radio to discuss sets and the concerts and all this stuff and get people, because obviously you talked about eras and TikTok. Like, that could be talk radio, which is definitely a thing. Now, would her fans want to do something, call talk radio? I don't know, but fandom is fanaticism, and a lot of times, like, it goes overboard. There are plenty of mostly men, especially like back where I'm from and in Detroit, who's now not Detroit Lions fans because most of them know better, but I know people who they put their well-being into sports.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe they don't like their job. Maybe family life is tough. And all they do is they look forward to watching that game on Sunday. And if their team loses, they take it personal and their whole week is ruined.
Sorry, Jordan. That's my boyfriend. I'm going to bring it up.
Does he have a sports thing?
Okay, so, well, his sister, hey, Kirsten, they love NASCAR. I don't get it, but they watch it. I don't know, but like they'll sit there and talk about NASCAR. Like, for hours, and I'm just like, and in that moment I go, back to what you said, not my thing.
Right.
If
not
you
for me.
like it, I love it. You love it, I enjoy it. I'm not here to question it, but like,
You do
I
you.
think that's one of those situations when I sit there and I'm just like, ugh, this fandom, it's so annoying. But I think to myself, but it's made not for you. Like,
Right.
they're there because there's people that like them and love them. Like, NASCAR, I don't get. My grandfather used to watch NASCAR as a kid. Never really got that gene. Just not my thing. But it's just like when people watch golf. Sorry, Jordan's family again. They watch golf. And I'm just like, cool.
Could you have picked
no
a
idea.
whiter family to date?
Opposites
Yes,
attract.
the last one. I have a question, but does Jordan and his sister, do they get wrapped up in the fanaticism of some driver? Like, if some driver...
Jordan doesn't like NASCAR. So
his sister? Is
his sister is a NASCAR and WWE person, which is how we bonded because I used to watch it back in the day. I can tell you any wrestler right now, but any wrestler from like the 80s to like 2007,
Yeah.
I can tell you about.
Does she have a driver, like, if they lose?
They do.
Or if
They
get
do have a driver. I don't know who it is, but they do, and they like it. I love it. It's just not for me. It's just like when I freak out about TLC, Beyonce, Madonna, Britney Spears. Who else do I like? I even like Katy Perry. I don't even care. I stand this ground. That's a hill I'll die on. Like, if Katy Perry announced a tour tomorrow, I'd probably be the only one to buy a ticket, but I'll be there.
Is it the Katy Perry I Won't Sing Anything After 2014 tour?
Listen, you hush your mouth. You stop it.
I think we're all quite similar where your TLC concert had electrical issues, technical issues, but you didn't stomp your feet and get mad and go, I want my money back.
No.
And I get when there's a lot of money involved, you get upset when you're spending that hard-earned money that you might not have a lot of, and you're buying that $45 Taylor Swift T-shirt and it rips the first day in the wash. But
I mean, you weigh your consequences.
yeah, fans are taking advantage of. I mean,
This is going to be me in literally 2 weeks at Ford Field.
with Beyonce.
Yeah, that is going to be me. But
Sure.
I'm part of the Beehive, but I'm like not a worker bee. Like, I will
Yeah.
work the receptionist desk on the Beehive. Like, oh, okay, take a number, sit down. I'm not at the forefront of a keyboard warrior defending her like she's Beyonce Christ superstar. She is, but you don't hear me running around yelling that. Like, that's my own opinion.
Like where you spend 3 hours on Twitter because you feel someone aggrieved Beyonce in some subtweet.
Listen, so I follow the Beehive. Listen, this could be in a podcast. Taylor Swift, Beyonce. Who else is like huge right now? And Post Malone. Like, all their fandom right now. Like, one of those guys. Who are they? Harry Styles. Yeah. That fandom equals out with Taylor Swift's fandom too.
A little bit.
Folks love Harry Styles. Love him. Do I get it?
I like
No.
looking at him.
Man, I mean, okay, so Zayn is hotter than Harry. I'm only knowing that because there's a list of names behind you. There's 3 people in that band that I can get
They're
to for
better than
Harry.
Harry?
Is it Niall?
Yeah.
But again, there's someone
Zayn,
for everyone.
then
Like,
Harry. But I'm just saying, like, that's it though. Like,
People, like fans of, regardless of what your fanaticism is of, some people go like way too far. One of the greatest releases or freedoms I was able to embrace in my life when I said I am never doing sports talk radio ever again, because in 2012 when I was doing it in Detroit, it was
did it?
Yeah,
Gross.
it was. I was in a terrible place. The work environment was awful, but the vitriol of very few people call sports radio, political radio, news radio to tout the good things. It's always
Well, and you're in
complaining and
Detroit.
negativity.
Like-
It's absolutely brutal. And when I was like, goodbye, I'm never doing this again, I still love sports. I don't watch it.
Right.
I just read about it.
Yeah.
And not having to watch it and spend hours or follow it and deal with like all this insane commentary or like the daytime talk shows on ESPN or the comment sections, like it was a huge relief in my life.
well, and that's the difference between consuming something for enjoyment and consuming something for work or like you're obligated to. You know what I mean? Like, you can enjoy sports how you want. You don't have to like.
But many people go overboard,
Make it
even
your
if
life.
it's just enjoying.
Well, yeah, true.
Trying to enjoy.
I feel like I enjoy sports, but only for like specific things. Like, if it's Game 7, I'll watch it. I'm not trying to watch a series. Or like, oh, next year, I'm gonna be Olympic. I'm gonna know everything about the Olympics because that's when I watch sports. I watch sports like maybe Game 7 of a
Well, it's higher
World
stakes.
Series.
It makes it more fun to watch.
But like, and to piggyback off what you say, like I like sports, but like what I can get in 5 hours, 3 out of 5 hours of watching, I can read an article.
Yeah.
Or a coworker can just be like, "Hey, the Mud Hens won last night." I'm like,
Give me the highlights.
I talk to my dad every day, and 85% of what we talk about is sports, and I know exactly what happened in the game that he spent 3.5 hours watching because I can read an article or see tweets and I get the gist of it. What was the high? We just consume it differently, and that's why I saw something not long ago that said we're getting into an age where there are fewer and fewer sports fans because people that should be aging into being sports fans and getting sports packages and tickets and whatnot, they consume it through Twitter and highlights. And will they go to games when they get older, or will all these stadiums have to be 10,000 seats, not 40,000?
Now, are you a sports person? Okay, so for me, I always think the quantity of people there to see sports has never changed. Do you see a difference as a sports person?
In what? Wait, say that again.
So like how you just said like there's going to be lesser people in the. Do you see a difference or a shift?
I don't
personally. I mean, like, but when you did, like at the time, because like for me, I always think the Mud Hen Stadium's always packed. I always think Huntington Center's always packed.
That's a family event, not a sport.
Okay, but when I see like, so what about Red Wings? Like
that
when
top level sports is where it is because it's.
So, but every time I see like this. I don't even know what it's called. Arena is packed, or like even the Cleveland Browns. They're not a good-ish team, but like it's always packed. Like I don't see how they see there's a shift, but I'm also like not a sports person. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of people there today.
I think you're talking about like 25 and 20 and under people who. They don't want to sit there for several hours and watch all this, whether it's live or not. And if it's live, that's why I do know that top level leagues are trying to become more like minor league stadiums where it's not necessarily about what's happening on the field. It's everything else so that they can give you that experience, that food, that entertainment.
Jesus, the amount of money I'm paying on a sports ticket, like... Yeah, I want there to be a playground in the outfield for my kid to go enjoy. I want, like, promotions and other, like, those I'm not going to pay, like, by the time you pay the amount of a sports ticket nowadays, like, it's a whole day excursion. Like, wine and dine me. You know what I mean? Like, give me an experience.
Any live event. That's why I stopped doing them. They're too fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Even, like, whenever I would go home, my dad and I we always went to, like, a Sixers game or something. And it was on a Tuesday night, and they were playing, like, the Bad Cavaliers. So it was easy to get a ticket and not expensive. Right. But now, to go back to Ticketmaster and stuff, like, even if you buy a ticket at the box office, if you can, the fees, the taxes, the parking, it's
food.
That's part of the reason I bought my dad a really big TV at home.
I'll tell you about something not on the podcast about Ticketmaster. I was actually going through it earlier today. But, so, and it just stinks for me, like, someone who's not, I feel like I've said this 8 times. I'm not a sports person, but, like, for me, the venues that they play in are so iconic.
Sure.
Like, I know who the Green Monster is, Boston. Like, do you think that'll have an effect on, like, trying to downsize stuff?
No,
like,
those places, those iconic places will stay. But I do wonder, years from now, if these stadiums will have to be smaller because 13, 15, 16, 17-year-olds are just not interested in being someplace for several hours when they can watch the highlights and whatnot on Twitter. And baseball changed its rules this year drastically, and the games are...
Dude, I love it.
Like...
I didn't know there was a time clock for pitching.
There is now.
It was like, what is... Like, I was asking Jordan, I go...
They get that stuff in and out.
Wait, is that a time clock for pitching? He's like, yeah, that's new this year. I go,
I love it.
Why? Does it take that long to pitch? He's like, you've never been to a baseball game, have you? I said,
They can
not.
take forever.
He's like, a pitcher could sit up there for like 20 minutes before throwing a first pitch. I go, what?
Many games were 3 hours. A lot of games went to 3.5 hours. The pitch clock has arguably worked too well. I saw a pretty reasonable thought not long ago because baseball these games were going so long, they moved a lot of start times up. Usually first pitch was 7:05, 7:35, but they moved them up to like 6:30, 6:40 because you don't want to be there till 11 o'clock.
No, for sure.
And the clock has worked so well. The guy's thought was, I think we can bump these back to 7 o'clock now because these games are over before I get my kid in the bathtub.
That's great.
Because now they're under like 2 hours.
Okay. I didn't know, so.
Now there's a clock. But any kind of fan.
But then you can then going to a doubleheader is you can stomach that.
They don't do those anymore though. They kick you out of the first game and make you come back and pay again.
Do they really?
Yep.
Really? You can't buy tickets for a doubleheader and stay?
Nope. They don't do it. Why? That's
for real?
They lose a gate. Why would they let you stay 2 games for the price of 1?
I don't know. Well, I thought you had to buy. I thought if you were going to a game that was a doubleheader, you had to
So, if you're going to a doubleheader, you have 2 tickets.
Right.
Okay.
You're paying for a doubleheader.
They don't.
Okay.
There are no because when my dad was a little boy, they scheduled doubleheaders, and he told me, you paid 7 peanuts to get 2 games, and they were still shorter than 1 game last year. But no, if tonight's Tigers game is rained out and they reschedule it for whether it's Sunday or Sunday in September, they do split doubleheaders. They play one in the afternoon and then one at 1 o'clock and then another one at 6. But
is that recently different? Because I swear in the last
I'm sitting here with my mouth open.
In the last couple of years, I went to a Mud Hens doubleheader and they started the second game right away.
It's a different business model than the major leagues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
I don't.
Wait a second.
I don't know if they. I don't even remember doubleheaders at Mud Hens anymore.
Yeah.
I know, like baseball, like Major League Baseball, a couple of years ago, they shortened them. I think the Mud Hens, when they do have a doubleheader, it's only 7 innings.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And that's Eric on sports. No, this was enlightening. If you're listening right now and you're like me, honk your horn somewhere. I'm so interested in this. I'm like.
I wouldn't say I'm super into sports, but I know enough about sports that I'm I can be interested and be engaged in what's happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
When the Phillies made the World Series last year, I watched more baseball in 10 days than I did in the last 3 years.
Because you have a personal connection.
Yeah, and the games,
that also makes a difference.
And the games were good. It was the World Series and whatnot. But I used to be the kid that was like, oh, it's the game of the week, and I wanted to see different teams. Mm-hmm. And then I needed all the sports packages. I buy the baseball package, so once the Phillies game is over, I'll watch the Angels play. Now. I don't know when the last time I watched a game was because there's too many other good things to watch.
Speaking of the length of baseball, we talked about this before. I'm a huge Cleveland Guardians fan. I'm still working on this terminology. But I think I always tell you the reference. I remember staying up to 1 o'clock in the morning when they played the Marlins in the World Series.
Yeah.
And
97.
Yep. And homeboy, all he had to do was catch the line drive down third base. Oh, look at me sound like a Butch man. And he missed it, and Cleveland lost. And I remember looking at the clock, and I was like, damn, I got to go to school in 7 hours. That's because I was up so late. So now I'm interested. They don't go that late anymore?
No.
Not as of this year.
Jamming to Christmas. I learn something new every day.
I think we talked about it last week. Let me play it because I actually listened to it after. I listened to it yesterday, but then I saw a funny headline today. But let me play this.
Iceland volcano, Oklahoma City bomb, Kurt Cobain, Pokemon, Tiger Woods, MySpace, Monsanto, GMOs. Harry Potter, Twilight, Michael Jackson dies, nuclear accident, Fukushima, Japan, Crimean Peninsula, Cambridge Analytica, Kim Jong-un, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man. He didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't light it, but we're trying to fight it. More war in Afghanistan. Cubs go all the way again. Obama's
Stumps could sing me the alphabet. I love his voice.
Yeah.
He's on one of the new Taylor songs.
Is he?
Yeah.
Nice.
So the reason I pulled that back out because I listened to it yesterday, and I knew exactly what it was going to be because I I am aware of all the shitty things that have happened in the last 30 years.
Right. You're like, oh, got him.
Yeah.
You are the
Bingo
king.
card.
You
They're
are
all-
the king of woke. You've always known. Can't be sleep if you stay woke.
But I saw the headline, and it has to be some type of satire site. But these days I would believe that it's real based on the bingo play I missed yesterday, which we'll come back to. I saw that Billy Joel strikes back with remake of Sugar We're Going Down.
I wish.
Wait.
I wish.
Look at me being clickbaited in person. I said, is this a thing?
I hope it is.
I need it now.
I love Billy Joel.
I love
So
Fall Out Boy.
let's go.
So,
Let's go. I'm here for the marriage.
It had to be a satirical headline.
but it'll still be hilarious.
It was, yes.
That'd be
It could
great.
be hilarious. It'd probably be really fucking good.
Billy
Piano on it.
Billy
Let's
Joel
go.
versus Fall Out Boy is the intergenerational beef we didn't
The
know we
first ever
needed.
white verses. Billy Joel, Fall
love
Out
it.
Boy.
I love it.
White verses?
You know, like the verses
Oh,
with the
you know.
R&B. Yeah.
What? So,
Don't ask me why they don't do them no more.
well, no, but I did
'Cause
see.
I have an answer.
I did see one thing popping around on because their medical bills were going up.
No, I said because we can't show up on time.
Oh,
I just
Oh, I can say it. Yes, you can. 'Cause
There-
I'm black.
there
now.
was a juvenile, what do they call it, mini desk thing.
Oh,
Mini desk
the
concert?
NPR mini desk concert. Juvenile did one.
I saw it
No
over
way.
the weekend, and with Manny Fresh, and I don't know if Lil Wayne was there.
what?
Little
Wait,
Wayne.
now I gotta look it
Oh,
up.
that's a whole nother.
What do
Lil
you used to call?
Wayne.
What do you call him?
He looks like a cockroach.
Sounds
like one when you
And
like when you. That was my Little Wayne. Have you heard him laugh? That's how he laughs.
It's Lil Wayne.
It's
What do you
really
expect?
bizarre. But like, I got in trouble when I was on the TV show. On the morning show, and said it because I don't think people realize that I am an African American black man.
Wait, what?
Newsflash.
Do you not remember when I got in trouble for
Yeah.
talking about a councilwoman's hair?
Yeah.
And I was like,
You're like, I have my own nappy head. Thank you.
I ain't never said that, but like, no, I enlightened the public that she had some assistance, and I got at least 4 hate mails from people saying you cannot talk about a woman of color's hair like that. And my reply was a picture of my face. I go, I'm black.
You're like, I am a woman of
I
color.
know a wig when I
My
see
name
one.
is Deja.
Thank you, and I wear a wig on the weekend.
Floyd said it like so flippantly, not to denigrate her, but it was just so casual.
No, it was literally like, so it was, I don't even know what it was about. They weren't even in trouble yet. That's how long ago it was. But like, she had said, she was in the news about something that said, oh, she's been wearing that wig since I was in 6th grade. That's all I said.
Yeah.
Truth.
That's
Facts.
all I said. I said, that wig has not changed scalps since 1994.
I'm sure you saw it. I read some of the details, and the only thing I can think of, neither of these two should be in this place anyway. He's too young. She needs to probably be. She needs her conservatorship back. You've seen the Britney Spears story, right?
Listen,
What
I'm
happened?
so happy we're talking about this.
Somebody explain what happened.
They were in I think
Being
a club
fanatic.
or a restaurant in a Vegas casino,
Mm-hmm.
and the latest #1 pick in the NBA, Victor Wembanyama, who is a French kid.
NBA. For some reason, I thought he was a wrestler or something. I was
he's
so confused.
7'4" and probably weighs less than
He
you.
slapped her, or
No.
So-
so you can probably pick him out of a crowd. That's
Sure.
how, you probably don't even know what he looks like, but if we did a lineup of people, you're like, oh, that's him.
I'm gonna know an NBA player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but long story short, she went into fangirl mode and like ran over to the table to introduce herself. And I guess security. One report said he open slapped her. The other one back slapped her. Either way, long story short, Britney Spears ran up and security took care of the situation. Now, you can go where you're going with this because
You're not paying attention. It's Britney Spears.
No. See, and this is where I'm going to get hate mail. She's not Britney Spears from 2000. She's Britney Spears from now. Far as I'm concerned, if I'm a security guard, which I'm probably not in the generation of knowing who Britney Spears is, but this is just some crazy white woman walking up to him. She's by herself. I'm not defending the security guard. I'm not taking Britney's side. But like for her, and she made a huge post on Instagram, which I followed, which I read, and I was just like, it ain't that serious. Like she pressed charges. I was like, he's doing his job.
Yeah.
And who's to say he didn't take the time to adjust his eyes to be like, oh my God, I'm sorry, it's Britney Spears.
But I think I don't know what happened. I would hope that like, maybe don't make direct contact with a face. I don't know if that happened or not. Like, you can interject without, like...
Your security for a reason.
And she knows how people are when people run up on her. So, like, for her to be like, oh, I got slapped, I'm going to press charges. But, like, Britney, like,
Yeah, it was a smart
you were
move.
the poster child of, like, tabloid media. Like, you're literally one person running towards one dude. Back in the day, you were one woman surrounded by a bodyguard of people being mobbed by people. Like, to the fandom of, like, Michael Jackson in the early 90s, mid 80s. Like, you had that caliber of people around you. To the point they had to throw you in certain cars, and they just sat there till the paparazzi died. So, like I said, not defending her getting slapped, but, like, you have to understand, you had security at one point, too.
Yeah.
Of all the things we have video of, it's hard to really be accurate with opinions here until we see how it all went down.
Yeah, for sure.
The first thing I thought, other than when I read the story, I was like, she needs to not be anywhere near Vegas. Alex and I, for 3 years...
First and foremost, you're right. You were correct.
Alex and I have had very contrasting opinions from the Free Britney crowd.
Well, you know where I stand, so...
Which is...
I'd rather not say on
like, every time I would...
too free.
Every time I would text Alex about a Britney thing, she knew that it was about some Instagram post where Britney was probably naked. You can do you, but this is why I've said this over the years, but I'll bring you up to speed. This is why she has problems, she has issues, and I can see why her kids are never seemingly with her. They want to stay away from mom.
Yeah, and
She shouldn't be anywhere near Vegas, but the continued line of bad decisions, and he shouldn't either, but whatever, because he's probably about 18. He's probably 12 years old.
Yeah.
Then the second thing I thought was, how does she even know who he is? But then I would gather maybe her kids who are boys like him as an NBA player or a soon-to-be NBA player.
Or he's just all over the news. But
he's not.
Does her husband like sports?
What's that?
Does her husband like sports?
Is she still married?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Him and Camilla Parker Bowles, those are goals. Turn into a fan and then become... Start out as a fan, now you're the queen. Start as a fan, now you're her husband.
Yeah.
It's a sad situation, and also I'm going to get in trouble, and I should keep my mouth shut. But she's also another person that, like, at some point, when do we, as fans, because I'm a Britney Spears fan, despite what I'm about to say, at what point do we just say, Britney, we have to hold you accountable for something?
A long time ago.
Yes, but then you have the argument of people who are just like, well, she has under conservative. She has a child. She was never allowed to grow up. I'm like, she's the mother of two. Like, at some point, you have to be that mother, and I don't want to put that category on.
I mean, you're a
woman.
grown
But like, I would
woman.
do it to a father who's like a quote unquote deadbeat dad. Like, you're a father. Step up. At what point do we just say, Britney, you are no longer the victim. It is in your court now.
But
Let's go with it.
We can't keep treating her like she's the teenager, early 20-year-old that she was when she was super famous.
But I'm finding out that when people do treat her like an adult, she resorts back some point
I
Because
think
of what you
there's
just said.
trauma and there's some
Because of what you just said, that the criticism was she was never allowed to grow up. She's not. Like, she is not a functioning adult. My thing with the Free Britney thing was, Free Britney from her dad and get her to someone else.
Yeah, and I always told you this, and I talked to back when we had the morning show. I would always say, like, all right, I'm on the free. I am still on the Free Britney, even though I think she's a little bit too free. But like, I didn't want to Free Britney because I was hoping for another album, which is what most of the fans were hoping. They were hoping for another album. Now that she's free, and she's told us multiple times, no, y'all, it's not gonna happen. Not doing the album. Blah blah blah. There's people out there who are just like, we're getting a single this weekend. I know for a fact there's someone on my social media, I'm not going to call you out, you don't even live here, but she'll post like, any day now she's going to drop an album and it's going to be the song of the summer. I don't think it's going to happen. And that goes, and this is a full circle moment for this podcast, that goes back to the fandom about Taylor Swift. Britney Spears has those fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely she does.
Free Britney to what? So she can wind up like dead in an alley?
And stop! And like,
When you're talking about an adult who is a mom who has a lot of issues.
And I said this before. I said, for the Free Britney movement, what are we freeing her from? Because at this point, we didn't know.
Her dad.
Right.
But we didn't know what was in the conservatorship. We didn't know what she was going through. We didn't know there was a curfew. We didn't know allegedly there were drugs involved, blah, 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 blah. But like you said, Free Britney from her dad, because clearly those measures are set in place for a reason. But now she's free, and now we're seeing it. And I think people, back to the fandom, think they're her best friend over being a fan, and they're just overlooking the steps and things that she has issues.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say that about your idols, but
Britney Spears
they're real.
seems
They're
like,
humans.
She seems like a person that Peter Pan syndrome, I guess, isn't like. She didn't have a normal childhood. She didn't have a normal teenage, young adulthood. She's probably never. She doesn't know how to function like a regular adult.
It's
She
MJ
doesn't have that
2.0.
skill set. So, like, that's why we're seeing these issues.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't have the skill set to be a functioning adult, in my opinion.
That's why I get her another conservator. Or someone that cares about her, and there's got to be...
She needs a halfway house. Like,
Yeah.
I mean that in a good... Like, she needs someone to...
Take her phone away.
I also think she's also one of those people that, and it's no fault of her own, she still surrounds herself with yes people.
Sure.
What about her mom? Isn't her mom...
Well, her mom is just via the...
But think about it. That's
the web
all she knows.
has just
All
been
she knows is yes,
introduced
yes,
back
yes.
back into her life. So I think her mom and her are trying to work on their relationship. Now, this is via me reading articles and being a rabbit hole type person, getting my information. But I don't know. And it's hard to say because I feel like in this whole podcast I have flip flopped so many times because I do thoroughly enjoy Britney Spears. I do.
Well, it's all
I don't know her
assumptions, 'cause
personally, but I feel
none
like
of
I've been with her since high school. That I guess in my head, to put my foot in my mouth, I feel like I'm Britney Spears' friend / fan who I know what's so good for her, but I genuinely don't know what she's going through.
Right.
I don't.
None of us do, really.
Imagine if your brain was a bowl of spaghetti. That's what probably being Britney Spears is like.
Spaghetti before it's boiled or spaghetti after it's boiled?
After.
Because there is totally two
Like raw
different
spaghetti.
After,
Right.
But-
There's totally two different
Mom
types
spaghetti.
of spaghetti.
but you haven't put it through the colander yet.
Stop. That's
Eric.
Eric Chase.
Hold on a second. I have to do a traffic report. Our Michigan traffic issues 75 and 23 southbound have subsided. We've got no other issues to pass along at this time. That's your Cumulus Toledo. Right now, traffic.
But I do like Britney Spears, and I enjoy her. I want the best for her. I know everyone says that, but I know a new album's not coming, and even when I was on the Free Britney bandwagon, I didn't want her to be free to release an album. She's also that artist who's given us a catalog of stuff that if she announces a tour, also people, which is not ever going to happen in our lifetime, I don't think, that I think she could sell out Little Caesars Arena. She's not going to do Ford Field or anything, but she could be
I think so.
Britney Spears could be I'm going to do an Eras tour now, friends. And I think elder millennials like me are just give us that choppy ass choreography. We are ready for this,
Yeah.
Brit.
Do you want to subject yourself to what is essentially a dance show, not a singing show?
Well, yeah, it's all going to be lip sync. Come on.
I know.
I don't think it's going to be a dance show either, but I just think it would just be one of those things where I'm just there watching. I'm she seems happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all
a proud
nostalgia.
parent moment. You're she seems happy. She missed the oops, I did it again, arm cross, fist pump thing. But you know what? Her 25 backup dancers were on it.
Right.
I don't know. And it just seems like she's in the headlines again for all the wrong reasons. And I'm just
Yeah, I didn't have
She needs
NBA #1 pick and Britney Spears have
in what universe would they even be in the same film?
right. Right.
What?
And again, from a responsibility factor, get out of the casino. I know he's probably in the restaurant where you're probably allowed, but you're 12 and Britney should be as far away from Vegas as any human possible.
I think
It's
she lives there, doesn't she?
It's like taking an alcoholic to the bar.
I don't know. It's just, yeah, I didn't have that on my bingo card. And back to sports. Is this guy a good basketball player, or is he just tall?
They say he's like generational, like LeBron James, because he is like 7'4", but plays like a guard.
All right.
But he's also like this thin.
He is. He looks. He's built like Gumby.
Right. Like the things that people put out to draw business, the waving thing.
Oh, the wappy, flappy.
I mean, if you're 7'4", imagine what you have to consume
Do you
on
know
a
what he
daily
looks like?
basis.
Do you know what he
No,
looks like? All right, I'll bring him up.
imagine what you have to consume to feed a 7'4"
teenager, because I'm sure he's
athlete.
Because he always travels with his mom. I do know that.
Wait, is he? Didn't you say he's in the NBA or he was the #1 draft pick or something?
Yeah.
Well, he's not 12. He's got to be 18 at least.
Get the hell out of a casino.
Well, yeah, you have to be 21. He's not 21. Probably.
Look at that arm span, man.
Holy!
It's like a fucking pterodactyl.
That's crazy.
No, that's photoshopped. Come on.
No, he's
His hands are huge. Yeah.
Victor Wemby.
His arm is the length of my entire body.
Well, you're small, so.
Kids, if you're listening, plug your ears. How big do you think his wing is? His wingding.
I mean,
It's probably down to his
is
knee.
it proportionate?
I don't
Because
I mean, is it
know. He's
ever?
going to make some
Jesus.
body. I'm not saying if he likes guys or girls. He's going to make somebody happy.
That's the first thing I thought when I saw Shaquille O'Neal's wife. I'm like, how are you not dead?
Right.
Because she's small, right?
And we're
you
Americans,
can't-
so if you did not think about how big this kid's, he's of age, right? Before I sit here and go down this rabbit hole.
He is
He's got
18
it.
or so.
Okay, but like,
If you can't be having fun and kissing at the same time, you're too big.
he could pee from the living room. I'm just thinking, like, it just like I'm trying to think, like shaking out a carpet, like it just unrolls.
Well, okay, so imagine. So your foot is the size of your elbow to your wrist.
Is it?
Is
Yep,
that a
that's
thing?
your foot.
Are you sure?
Watch.
Here we go.
That bitch done put her elbow to her. She put her foot on her
Your
arm.
foot, the size from your elbow crease to your wrist
That's a big ass
is
foot I got.
the size of your foot.
Okay.
And look at his arms.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And your
like,
feet are supposedly telling of your.
No, I think that's
That's a myth.
Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying.
Oh, I wear a size 13.5. That's a myth.
Please.
Not hurting anyone.
Will you please thank Josh for me for installing the ring?
Yeah.
In fact, I had the same feeling I had the other day when I saw the door was open. I looked down. I was like, somebody put the ring sticker on now. I was like, I realized.
Oh, that was my kid.
Oh, thanks, Madigan.
Yeah, she. I had to guide her where to put it because she would have put it smack dab in the
That's
middle
fine.
of your window.
That's fine. You know, that was the other thing that I wanted to talk about today. We don't have to go too much longer. You traipsed through my home, so go ahead,
did.
bring all the criticism. What's wrong in the house now?
It doesn't change. It's the same things I complain about every time. Is what's wrong with it?
What are they?
There's no light.
Okay.
Is it
It's
still the
barren.
same setup from when I was over
Yeah.
like 3 years
Yeah,
ago? Okay.
it's just dark and barren.
What do you mean, Baron?
It looks like someone's lived there for like 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like, it's like
Your house looks like someone constantly just moved in.
it's like no one ever actually moved in.
It's just a model
What do you-
model home
like,
for
what-
people to.
But what I appreciate the most is the pile of furniture that is in the cutout above your sink. Which I know is to keep Andre from doing bad things.
There's a bucket.
It is a mountain of
small
furniture
ottoman and
above
one of
his
the
kitchen
stools.
sink in the
Just for him to
cutout.
pee on.
No, it's
Oh.
so because Andre would like he'd climb through and get on the counters, right?
Yeah.
He went through the break front and
Oh.
would scale the counters. And then one day, it was like October. We were coming. Josh and I were coming back from Comic-Con up in Monroe, and I come back. No. I come back, and my Daredevil whiskey glass is shattered in the sink, and I was like, Andre, how are you not bleeding out in the garbage disposal? So from that, I erected this collection of furniture to keep him out.
Very mousetrap, if you will.
But I bet he don't do it no more.
He doesn't.
Right.
Any other criticisms or complaints?
No.
Okay.
Hear me out. I know that you probably don't use the deck all that often, but we had several near-death experiences
I forgot to tell you, it's very slippery.
because
It's
the
slick.
moss
Yeah.
that has grown, because it's very shaded,
Yeah.
very damp, very damp, dark. That's his vibe. And
So what you're telling me is you're an ogre that lives in a swamp.
like, it's so
Good-looking ogre.
slippery.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know you guys. You didn't tell me when you were going over. I didn't find out you were there until I got my first ring notification.
Well, you knew
And I
it was
felt
going to be
bad.
during that day.
I didn't know for sure. I didn't want to bug you. I was just thankful that you were going to do it. And then I see the whole freaking clan over there.
I
Yeah,
think that's
we
why I
roll.
want a house. I want a ring light. I want to be one of those people. Like, get off my porch.
Not that fun.
This says, "Hello, you're being recorded."
Oh, does it?
It's one of those.
A lot.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video of the girl? She's getting the package off her mom's porch, and her mom is like, "Get off my porch! I'm gonna get my gun. I'm gonna shoot you, bitch!" And she's like, "Mom, it's me." She goes, "Oh hell, what you doing on my porch?"
Wait, can I get like ringtones
Oh my
or
God,
something
I will
like
find
that?
that for you. It is.
No,
The
no.
woman is cussing her out, and the girl goes, "Ma, it's me." She goes, "Oh, what the hell are you doing in my house?"
Can I install something like that instead of
Oh,
the
I'm sure.
Oh my God! Do you
there's
want my
gotta be
mom
some-
to record it for you? She has a good mom voice.
I
Bet you could,
that
right?
woman.
You
Maybe
want-
not.
What the hell are you doing on my porch?
Right. With a clicking or something of a gun.
She
Oh
can
my
do
gosh.
Waze directions. You know how you can record your own Waze directions?
Yeah.
Did
Bitch, turn left. I said right, mother. Anyways.
Maddie enjoyed the dogs.
Yes, she did. She gave them several treats.
What are you doing this weekend?
I'm working tomorrow.
For again?
Yeah, someone's using our gallery for a bridal shower. So
That's 2 weekends in a row.
I have to work every Saturday from now until school starts again.
But you do have light weeks.
Do I?
You're not working 40 hours during the week in the summer, are you?
Yeah.
Are you? Why? You're sitting here
Well,
now.
no, Fridays. Fridays we have off.
Right. So there you go. So you're still working 5 days. Sorry.
Do you feel like you're interrogated right now?
A little bit.
Like,
Like,
I need
you
this
don't
Law and
know
Order
me.
sound like dun dun.
So what do you have to do for the gallery? Just babysit these people?
Babysit, yeah.
It's open to the public. I'm doing nothing tomorrow.
No, it's not.
I'll poop.
Sorry.
What time is that?
Middle of the day.
I'm going to Disabled and Proud, which is
Cute.
at Levis Square tomorrow.
I heard the spot for that. That sounds like a good turnout.
My friend that I met with the Ability Center, Valerie, she's the disability manager for the city, and she unknowingly got and she is a lawyer by trade.
Mm-hmm.
She unknowingly got turned into an event coordinator to build this up. So yesterday she's like, they want to know where I want to put the porta potties. I'm like, oh, you've come so far from family law.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
But I'm going to go
Really
do that
moving
tomorrow.
up.
What are you
Well,
doing?
that'd be fun.
Are you back at George's?
It's my first week back in 3 weeks.
Oh,
I'll
coming
be
out
there.
of retirement.
I'll be there.
Yeah, and
I had
I
to shave today. Look at this grizzly man.
and remember, I want to know if there is a certain person.
Yep, I
there.
got you. It's going to be good because this will be the first time interacting with certain people after me interacting with certain people. So we'll save that for another day. People who are just like, "What are you two talking about?"
I want the tea.
So I am short on community affairs type interviews. Do we have any? You guys got anything? I would say
like-
Pride stuff, but
August.
I could talk about it now, but it's just impossible to track Lexi down.
I can track her down.
Can you?
She answers me anytime I call.
You know what it is? I can get Lexi.
You got to get a car to the club, bro.
I can get Lexi, but when I get, you're gonna have to remind me via text. When I do, that never comes back my direction.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I can see what I can do. I know some peeps. They're not just gay. I got some
I
community
didn't
stuff out
think
there.
that they were.
No, I was. Also, I'm on Threads now.
Same.
Blow it up.
You got-
Goodbye, Twitter.
I'm blowing
before
up.
me.
Man, I was on the jump so fast. I was like one of the first 10 probably.
There, when I hopped on and when I put Threads up, which is only just one. Anyway, sorry. Let me reset my brain.
Whew, careful, Boomer. You all right?
No, you made me wheeze.
You good?
How similar to Twitter is it? Because
It's very similar.
I'm calling it woke Twitter
why?
because we are only there for niceness.
I call it Libra. What did I call it earlier last? Oh, my boyfriend thought it was funny. Liberter? It was liberal and Twitter
Liberal-
mixed together,
liberalter?
but it was
Liberter?
funny. I don't even remember. I was also very
We're only there for positivity.
Yes, so far. Well, actually,
Don't bring your hating ass
my last
to my app.
said, and it got the most. This is honestly, get on Threads because this is the only time you're ever going to have more likes than an A-lister because it's new.
Right.
I said
so
it.
Right.
I said it. So I said, real talk. How long before @Threads is flooded with XXX pictures? I mean, I'm not mad about it, but it's going to happen, right? Hashtag history repeating. Peaches eggplant. It's going to happen.
I know somebody put a thread that was like, okay, who's going to be the first celebrity to ruin their career on Threads? And I was like, listen.
What about
We're keeping it.
Do you think Elon Musk is losing his shit because it's the only thing that's keeping me
I hope
alive
so.
right now?
keeping him alive?
Keeping me alive right now is literally Elon Musk like going crazy.
Oh, no. I don't know. I have to be like the only person. Like my Twitter experience has been no worse than it ever was before he took over. And I'm more active.
You were avid on Twitter.
I got you on it.
Here's
Yeah,
the thing
then I
that,
deleted it, and then I created a dark web Twitter account just to follow my passion.
here's the thing that's keeping me going. I remember the days when Twitter was brand new, so exciting. 140 characters, sure, I'll figure it out. Then Instagram. Well, I don't remember which came first. Instagram was brand new.
Instagram
all
was
the
after
filters.
Twitter.
Yeah.
All the filters, people like taking pictures of wildlife like it mattered. Like I want, this is like my chance to relive a brand new form of social media and like have all these like positive thoughts
I'm with
about
you
how
on
it's
this
gonna
one.
go, and I'm just basking in that for the 5 days that we're gonna have before shit hits
I
the
we
fan.
have like 3 weeks. We have 3 weeks for.
I'm only
people
giving it
come
5
in,
or 6 days.
and we're like, ugh, why are you here? But you can link it with your Instagram, so you don't have to follow anyone really.
I know.
They send you a notification to your followers.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, so and so's on Threads, follow them.
Yeah,
back.
it's just
I'm like,
automatic.
oh,
I
praise.
got the. I read about this earlier in this, or I knew it was coming, and I made sure I got the notification. So when it went live in the Apple Store, I downloaded it, and then I liked it because it was easy to set up. It just sucked all my info
Yeah.
in, and I think it sucked in everybody that I follow on Instagram. But I follow. I want to find the people that I follow on Twitter there. Then I will fully transition because I use Twitter for like news, information, and stuff like that. And if more of those people get there and it's easy for me to find and follow them, then I'm in. All
It'll
the
get
way.
there. It's only day 3 of the launch.
Yeah.
Day 2.
I to go back to my seizure moment a few minutes ago.
Ooh, they're gonna need their car worked on. That's
To
rough.
go back to my seizure moment, I despise threads. Like when I see somebody do 1/39,
Oh yeah.
I'm like, can you get a goddamn fucking blog?
What?
Like if people are posting a thread, like a thread of
Oh,
tweets.
Yeah, like when people be like, tweet 1
It's
of
like
10.
right.
Tweet 2 of 10. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, girl, put up a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you
I
mean.
prefer when people like type it all in notes and then just
Yeah.
screenshot it and then just
That's
put it
better.
on as pictures.
Yeah.
I would rather you do that than like have a 39
Politicians are
post thread.
good for that during like election season. Like 1 of 10. I'm like, I don't care.
I'm like nobody cares.
No one cares.
I want the link or I want what you said because within those 1 of 67, for everyone, there's mentions and
Right.
it's awful.
Convoluted.
All right, we're done. Are you doing anything else this weekend besides going back to work?
No, I'm good, and then I'll be back with you this week and all that jazz. I'm full time here. Yes.
Floyd's been here 2 weeks and he probably wonders, does anybody work 5 days a week here? Does anybody?
It's been 2 weeks already?
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Holy Lord.
Technically 2.5. I didn't come in the first week. I just
Well.
did like onboarding stuff. But no, I'm enjoying it. It's good. The good people here. I like Josh. He's fun too. And Stash. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give a shout out to people who are. I'm trying to think who talks to me every day. Susan, Heather, Mary when she comes back.
Robin?
Rob. Oh, I love my Robin. She's my Robin. That's her name. Every time I see her, I'm like, hey, my Robin.
She was maybe the happiest. She was so over the moon when you were
love Robin.
I
interviewing
bet.
and all that stuff.
And actually meeting people who I saw walking the hall my first time here 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And now, like, Becky.
Mookie?
Mookie. Yeah, I finally got to meet Mookie and have a conversation with him because he did evenings when I was here early in the morning. So yeah, I'm excited. It'll be a fun ride.
And soon
enough about me. Stop talking.
you'll do some shows on Q.
Oh my God, you heard it here first. Yeah. Hi, I'm Floyd, and you're listening to Q105.
See, easy.
105.
105. 105. There you go.
Wait till Queer 105 during Pride weekend.
Oh, can I do a social
snap.
media post? Hi, this is Floyd, and you're listening to Q105. And do a Q with the circle like Disney and the Mickey Mouse ears. Oh, done.
Okay.
That's my job. I can do that.
I like it. All right, we're done.
Bye.